Our next guest today is Taylor Harmon, Washington County, born and raised here, who is with the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation.
It's a mouthful.
It is. So now, Taylor, it is now the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation.
Yes, ma'am.
And it is under what? Is it a separate office, or is it under the cabinet for
It's
the
just,
state?
it's under state. It's under the education.
Oh, that's right, under
Yes, ma'am.
the education, the Department of Education.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, with the Kentucky State.
Yes.
And so, the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, you are a counselor with them.
Yes.
And you are working out of the
Elizabethtown office. Yes.
Elizabethtown office.
It was Bardstown, but they decided to consolidate to go down. Now we're down to 13 offices, career centers now. So my district is Elizabethtown. It's always been Elizabethtown, but we had an office in Bardstown. But now they've consolidated now, and I'm in Elizabethtown now.
Yeah. I understand that, there's been a lot of this consolidation with you're a part of the Career Center.
Yes, ma'am.
And because there's some other offices in that as well, which are?
WIOA and OET.
Okay.
WIOA is, I'm not real sure what WIOA does, but what they do, they help people get certifications like CDLs and just certifications or some type of career aspect in which they can find a job. So
like
they do
a
CDL is the truck driving.
Right, and then there's the nurse.
They do CNA work as well. They do CNAs. They basically help those get certifications to the point where they can find employment.
Yeah. Okay, so that's WIA. I'm not sure what that stands for. Work incentive.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the
OET, they help people file claims for unemployment.
Okay. And also to sign up for employment. Is employment?
They do help with finding employment as well. They have job leads there, and they help them if they find job leads that suits their certifications, or if for some reason they fit that job, then they give them leads. And people do a lot of job searching there. They help with resume building, just anything that stems from a career aspect or finding a job. That's what OET does.
Do they do training in soft skills there as well?
They don't. We do. The Adult Learning Center, we send a lot of people there to help with. They do tape testing. That they have to have tape tests in order to get into the factory.
What's that?
Tape testing. It's just the test that the factories give out in order for them to take and get factory jobs.
To see if they're capable. Is it those a lot of hands-on kind of?
Well, the test it's a paper test, but it just gives them questions in order to answer them. And
is it in regard to psychological, or?
I've never taken the tape test, but I'm sure it has a lot of that, and what their capabilities are.
I see.
In order to get a job. But I think every factory gives a tape test. And so it gives them a score at the end, and if the score is high enough or well enough, then they take the tape test in with them, or say they've taken the tape test, and so on and so forth. So it helps them get a factory job. And most factories, like I said, they do the tape test in order for them to see exactly what their capabilities are.
Now, that this office, these 3 offices, including yours, are all in the same building.
Yes, they're over at Elizabethtown.
In Elizabethtown. What is the address of that?
It's 233 Ring Road. It's in Elizabethtown, Suite 1A, I think. It's right there on Ring Road, across from Accabono. If you know where Accabono is in Elizabethtown, it's right across from that.
Okay. So anyone from Washington County would need to go over there to...
They can either file for unemployment, They can job hunt, career exploration. If you have a disability, they refer people with disabilities to Office of Vocational Rehabilitation like myself.
Okay.
And so what I do is I help people with disabilities find jobs or go to school.
Okay. And so now, so you get referrals from other agencies.
Correct. Communicare, or one of my big referrals is Astro Behavioral Health. They're new. They're in Bardstown as well. So that's people with bipolar, depression, anxiety, any of those people that have that type of disability.
A mental health disability.
A mental health, exactly.
And then also you do physical disabilities as well.
Yes, we do physical disabilities as well. I have people with spina bifida, spinal cord injuries, people with back problems, knee problems, hip problems. As of right now, the state has limited the amount of people we can take and be in our program. It's called Category 4, and what that is that you have to have a significant disability in order for us to help you. Now, that just occurred in this past year. Before that, if you just had one diagnosis like anxiety or ADHD, then we could help you. But since the state has cut back, we can only help those with significant disabilities.
So now, and a significant disability would be more like, as far as a mental health disability, would be like bipolar and schizophrenia, some of your more severe.
Yes, those that, I mean, you can have physical disabilities and you can have anxiety or ADHD or something.
Along with it.
Along with it, and they more than likely would qualify to it. It all depends on their medical records. And
a dual diagnosis, so more than one disability.
Yes, and I forgot to mention we have the Office of the Blind over there as well.
Okay.
So I've had dual cases where people have lost their eyesight and have a physical disability, but if they have eyesight problems, then I can refer them to the Office of the Blind.
Okay.
And they are kind of like Voc Rehab, and they can help them with home modifications. They can help them with training in the home, how to get around. They can help them if they're wanting. I've had people that have lost their eyesight and wanted to go to school. So I've had dual cases where I've helped them with school, technology, computer software, stuff that makes it easier for them to go to school and helps them in the classroom and stuff like that. So we do a lot of referrals to different agencies
as well. Now, so what if someone has they have a disability? Can they just walk in and refer themselves?
Yeah, they can walk in or they can just call. They can call the number and I'll meet with them, and we can distinguish if they're going to be capable of being in our program. And
if they're good, so in other words, you have to determine if they're eligible by probably what? Getting all their medical records?
Getting their medical records and distinguishing how many areas I could mark off on the eligibility.
Okay.
See, they have to have at least 4 areas now that I can check off in order for them to qualify.
I see. And so those areas would be like?
Work skills, work tolerance, communication disorders, and there's a couple of other ones that it just all depends on what they have. So there's like 6 areas that I can check mark.
I see.
But as long as they have 4, then they're capable of being in the program.
So then,
and also if they have SSDI, which is disability, then they automatically qualify.
So if they're on Social Security disability,
yes, they automatically
qualify for your program.
Qualify.
Because the goal, of course, is to get them employed and off of their disability.
Yes. Exactly.
Where they can actually get a paycheck.
Exactly.
So
just like me, I'm in a wheelchair, right? I can't sit home. I'd go nuts. So that's why I did not take my disability. And plus, you make more money if you're off disability, if you have a job.
Right.
So, but for those that can't withstand a full-time job, we can help them with part-time work so they can keep their benefits and get out of the house and still work, which is a good option because they can keep their insurance.
Oh.
See, the insurance is the bigger aspect when it comes to working.
Yeah.
That's what my
People want
intake-
their medical insurance.
want
They
their
have to
medical-
have that.
Yes.
Because of their disability.
Correct.
So they have to have so they could come to you and they could work, perhaps are not capable, as you said, or able to work full-time, but they could work part-time,
And still keep their benefits and their insurance.
keep their insurance.
And that's a big issue. A lot of people with disability think, well, I'm going to lose my check if I work, and that is completely false.
Okay. So but they do decrease the amount of the Social Security
No.
depending on
No,
how much money you're making?
no, that's false too.
Really?
Yes, a person that receives disability they have an amount in which they can make. Okay, okay, and if they do come to me, I can set them up with a benefit analysis person that can tell them exactly how much money you can make and still keep your benefits.
Okay.
So most people think if I work and I have disability, I can't work because I'll lose my benefits, and that's false. They can work. They can make up to a certain amount. I can't tell you exactly because I don't have their information in front of me, but I do refer them to a guy that can tell them exactly how much money they can make and still keep their benefits.
Yeah.
So
That's great. That's good news because people are so afraid of that.
oh, they're terrified. And
Yeah.
I understand. I mean, that's their livelihood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, it makes sense why, a lot of people think that, if I work, I'm going to lose my benefits, but that's false.
Yeah, yeah. So then, once they are considered eligible for your program,
Yes, ma'am.
Taylor, then what happens from there?
It just depends on what they want to do. If they want a job, if they just want a job, I can refer them to different agencies to help them find a job in the community, or like in Bardstown, they have the Go Center, and they have people with severe mental issues, and they can go to work there and make piece rate, or they have a restaurant there now that they can make more.
This is in Bardstown?
Yes, it's called the Go Center, yes.
And they can work there, and they have restaurant?
It's like a little factory.
Uh-huh.
And they have an assembly line in which they have, Bardstown's full of industries,
Right.
because of the bourbon aspect of it. So they could package up, bottles. They could package up different things, and it depends on how much they do, how much they work, and they can still make money.
Is that at the Guthrie? Oh, that's at the Guthrie Opportunity Center.
I call it the
Go. I wasn't thinking.
I call it the Go Center, but
yeah.
it's Guthrie. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then in Washington County, you have Communicare has the Washington County Industries
Yeah, the workshop.
down at the old Reed
Reed spot, yeah, or Reed
building.
Yeah.
Reed Grocery building. Yeah. And so people can, I guess, go to work in there.
Yes, that is for the severe mental disabled. They have a workshop there that they kind of do piece rate as well. They have the factories here in Washington County sends them work, cleaning. I've heard they clean funnels. They do. I don't know if they package anything, but they do. They do some work for factories around here.
I think they do some assembly line work. They used to. I guess they still do. And then, so now Taylor, so you could refer them directly to work, and then they perhaps might, like you said, need a little bit of training or to get ready for work. But then what other, I think the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation pays for education.
They pay for tuition assistance. They don't pay for they pay by semester. It all depends where you want to go. We do a lot of ECTC, BCTC, we do Western. We do basically all the colleges in Kentucky. A semester, we pay up to, $12.50 a semester with $250 per books. And we pay for 8 semesters, which is 4 years. We try to get them to where they can get a bachelor's degree if that's the way they want to go. We help pay for training aspects. I've sent several people to barber school. We pay a different amount when it comes to barber school. Welding, we do welding. Cosmetology. We also have what's called the school out east. I'm drawing a blank right now.
The what now? The school?
The school out east. It's I can't think of what the school is called. It's for those that oh goodness.
It's around here?
No, it's in eastern Kentucky.
Oh, okay. At the
I'm trying
I
to
know
blank.
myself now.
Yeah,
I'll think on that in a minute.
yeah.
But they have it's a dorm and a campus
right there
where
Yes.
they can actually get some training there, and I think they used to have truck driving.
They have they can help with your GED. They have you can get your GED there. They can help you with your driver's license. They have trainings in cosmetology, car detailing, landscaping. Just all types of different little certificates. Forklift driving or forklift. I don't know if I mentioned that. But
That's a good one.
But they have certain trainings for those that have learning disabilities. A lot of kids that have learning disabilities, we try to give them the opportunity to go there, and it's really nice.
And that training is how long you're there is dependent on the type of certification you're getting. So you might be there 3 months. You could be there a year.
Well, it just depends on how much help you need.
Yeah.
Like I have a couple girls that are in the cosmetology program, and they'll be there a while because they got a lot of stuff to learn. They got to learn how to do coloring, women's hair, guys' hair. So I mean, they'll be there a while, and I get reports back to monthly to see how they're doing. And so, but it's great for people with learning disabilities.
And then, as you mentioned, that there are kinds of supportive, like technology machines, or that can assist the client.
It's rehabilitation technology. That's what we call it.
Okay.
Rehab tech.
So what are some of the things that?
Well, like rehab tech could be band modifications to help with driving. It can be computer software programs like Dragon Dictation that you can talk to the computer and it types for you. Then there's other technologies that rehab tech that people with back issues, we can send a rehab tech to them and they can decide on a chair that they can sit in at work and help their back. I mean, it
depends on the individual need.
Yes,
so
exactly.
You look for all avenues to try to help get that person set up so they can be employed.
Exactly.
And become self-supportive and self-sufficient.
Yes.
So, I think you're a perfect example, Taylor, for these people that are in those positions.
I'm disabled, so I mean, they try to come in and say, "Well, I can't work," and I'm looking at them. I said, "How are you telling me you can't work? I'm in a wheelchair." So I mean.
And you've been in a wheelchair since you were 16.
Yes, ma'am.
And you went through college?
Yes, ma'am, I did. Went through UK, St. Catherine's, UK. Then the University of Cumberland, I went there. I got my master's in special education. And so I ended up actually at this job because it took my qualifications to get this job. So I'm lucky to have this job. So.
And you've done teaching as well?
I taught school for 2.5 years and decided that wasn't for me. But
and you were doing kind of school to work
It was
work-related or
that was college and career
readiness?
readiness. Yes, college and career readiness, and I taught that to 7th and 8th graders for 2.5 years. It was beneficial to them. We taught different aspects when it comes to money management, to resume building, to just writing a check. You know, that's a dying art now. Kids, you know, we have debit cards, they don't know how to write a check. So, I mean, we did a lot of stuff with that as well. So that kind of prepared me for this job. And so far, I love my job, love everything about it, and I don't mind going to work every day. I actually enjoy going to work. So, but
so you're just a perfect example of how someone can succeed.
Right.
If they're intent on, if they really want to
work,
work and have a career. And and of course, Taylor, you are, grew up here and went to Washington County schools and
Yes, ma'am.
high school, and then you, met your wife at St. Catherine.
Yes, ma'am.
Or I guess you knew each other before then.
We knew each other. We just, I guess we had different friends. Well, we did have the same friends, but we just never really got to know each other until she graduated from high school, and we were both at St. Catherine.
Yeah.
So.
And that's Stephanie, who is a
nurse practitioner
here in Springfield.
Yeah, she works for the Springview Clinic.
Yeah, Springview Clinic. Yes, and then you have a little boy.
Yes, ma'am, I do. He's about ready to turn 2 years old.
Yeah.
His name is JT. Stands for James Taylor Harmon. We not after the singer or anything like that, but we love James is on her side, my side, so we love James, and then of course always wanted to name my son after me, so we have kind of the both.
Yeah.
We had both areas covered, so.
Yeah. So there you are. You've got James Taylor and JT, as you call him, and then so Taylor Harmon, who is with the Office of Vocational Rehabilitation. And if people are interested in getting more information, Taylor,
Yes, ma'am.
or think that they want to or need to refer someone or want to find out more for themselves, they can contact you.
Yes, ma'am.
At the office in Elizabethtown. And what is that number now?
It's 270-766-5121.
766-5121.
Yes,
of course,
ma'am.
that's area code 270.
270.
In Elizabethtown. And they can. Is there anywhere else that they can look up information? Is there a website or?
Oh yes, we have a website. You can just Google Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, and the website will come right up, and phone numbers are there, and you can just call and you can talk to all of our assistants, and they'll refer you to a counselor, and we'll do anything we can to help.
So this is our Washington County representative here. Do
Yes.
you work cases in Washington County, Taylor?
I work Washington and Nelson.
Okay.
And I also work with the schools. I work with Nelson County and Thomas Nelson.
Okay. Okay.
Washington County school belongs to the other counselor that's going to be hired here for too long. So.
And they'll be in the Elizabethtown office as well?
Yes.
Covering Washington County?
Yes.
And will they be coming to Washington County
High school.
Some days then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, it just depends on the need, but yes, they'll be coming to Washington County High School.
I see. Okay. Well, I want to thank you, Taylor, for being on here today. Of course, I have to mention that you're my son's good friend.
Yes.
And that also that your parents are Washington Countyans and go to, and your mom, Pat, is a teacher at the high school.
Yes, she's a teacher at the middle school, yes.
The middle school,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. So they've done a good job raising you.
Yeah. I'd like to claim it.
And your father, Kenny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thanks, Taylor, for being here. I appreciate
Anytime.
it.
Anytime.